back like 10, 15 years ago, trying to buy Muay Thai equipment was just a very unpleasant experience because there wasn't any established, reputable, trustworthy UK retailers or any within Europe as far as I can remember. So buying Muay Thai equipment, you had to order from Thailand. And I'm talking about like 2009, 2010, 2011. You'd find an online store in Thailand, you'd order some Muay Thai shorts, you'd wait a month, 2 months sometimes for them to arrive. And if they didn't fit, like you were screwed. There was nothing you could do. You just have to order another size and wait another 2 months. And that's just how it was. So I knew for quite a while that I'd like to start a Muay Thai equipment store within the UK at some point, but again, it was one of those ideas. It was just at the back of my head. I thought it would be good. There's a gap in the market, especially when I started PTing and coaching, and people would ask me all the time, where should I get some gloves, where should I get some shorts, where should I get pads, and I couldn't recommend anywhere. Like there was no website, there was no retailer that I could recommend. And I tell people, you have to just Google it. You're just going to have to search on eBay or just find a store, because there's nowhere that I've got first-hand experience with that's reliable, that's trustworthy, that's going to deliver genuine equipment within a sufficient time frame. So I think after a few years of that, and like Dan mentioned, Dan asked me where he should get some equipment, and I said there's just nowhere. So we kind of had that conversation. Let's start somewhere then, because there's been this gap in the market for a long time. And don't get me wrong, by this time, 4 or 5 years ago, there were UK retailers. So there wasn't a complete huge gap in the market. They did exist, and some of them had been around a long time. But we realised that a lot of them were behind with the times. So their websites were poor. Their websites weren't even mobile optimized. They had no social media presence. So some of them didn't even have Facebook or Instagram accounts, and the ones that did hadn't made a post in 2 or 3 years. They just hadn't kept up with the times, and e-commerce is a rapidly moving and growing market. So yeah, there were retailers that had become established over the last sort of 5-10 years, but we still saw a gap in the market to establish Fight Supplies as a reputable company, one that people can trust, a company that takes part in the community, sponsors shows, sponsors fighters, and is present on social media, has a phone number that, with UK-based staff, that you can phone up and speak to a human being. You can order something and have it delivered the next day. You can make returns. You can make exchanges. So that's kind of where the idea come from. These are conversations that we had over a period of weeks or months before we decided. Look, we've got a kind of plan. We've got a rough idea of what we're gonna do. Let's do it.
When was the moment you said, you know what, actually, let's go ahead and let's start this?
I think we've been discussing it for, like I said, a few weeks or a few months. One thing that was that we were fortunate with was my background and experience, because I think a lot of people have these ideas, and there's a lot of opportunities to start businesses and start e-commerce stores. Especially now, it's easier than ever with platforms like Shopify. People can start a business, start a store from their phone, in the comfort of their home. But I think what's quite daunting for a lot of people is when they start to consider, they need the inventory, obviously, for starters. They need a domain name, they need a website, they need the social media, they need a logo, they need someone to do the graphic design for them. And then that's just the start. Then they need someone to market it for them. They need to either run ads, so they need to do SEO so that they appear in Google. They rank for these terms. And I think once they realise what's involved, for a lot of people, it becomes very daunting, because it becomes very expensive very quickly, and it's a big risk for a lot of people. Whereas with us, like I said, we were fortunate that we both had business experience. I had experience with web design, web development, SEO, marketing, that kind of thing. So all of that was going to come at zero cost to us. Like, all we needed was the inventory to get going. So we were fortunate that we were in that position, because I know not many people would be in that position. They'd have to dish out a lot of capital to even get started, and then there's no guarantees that it's going to succeed. But yeah, I think for us, we discussed it over a period of weeks or months, and it did begin as just an idea. But I think once we realised, we're in a good position here, we're in a strong position, there's an opportunity to establish this business, and we've got the experience between us, we've got the resources, all we need is some time and money. We just need the inventory.
So yeah, I actually contacted Fairtex in Thailand and Twins in Thailand, and they said we've actually got a UK distributor who's Kenny Bill from Muay Thai Boxing, and they put me in touch with him, and then he sent us some price lists over, and we just kind of went from there pretty much, really. Like I say, on a very small scale to begin with. I don't know what we bought originally, about 10 grand's worth of stock probably.
I think at most.
It might not have even been that. And then yeah, it was just the whole ethos since then has pretty much been any money we make from the business goes back into the business. I mean, we haven't taken anything out of it really. No. So we've literally just been constantly trying to scale up, add new brands, add new products, more inventory, more marketing, all that side of things, and then just streamlining everything else from that point as well.
To add to that as well, I think in the initial stages when Dan was doing research on brands, the stock and inventory and where we're going to get it, we did find a couple of shops, or a few shops that were based in Thailand that could send Twins, send Fairtex, send Top King, Yokkao, Windy, so whatever brands we wanted, and we got some prices, and then at the same time, like I said, Dan was referred to to Kenny at MTB at Muay Thai Boxing, who was the official distributor for Twins and Fairtex. And we kind of weighed up our options, but the idea of importing a load of stock from Thailand, sending £10,000 worth of Thai baht to a Thai bank account to someone that we didn't know, didn't meet, dealing with import charges and VAT. This even though we had some experience and I had some e-commerce experience, the logistics side of things and importing goods was completely new to both of us. So we decided, and I think it was a very, very good decision to stick with ordering within the UK from MTB, because we didn't have to worry about, we had no trust issues. We could pay by credit card. It was with us within 1 or 2 days.
We're listed as an authorised retailer.
Exactly, and we know it's genuine, because that was the risk ordering from Thailand. We don't know where it's coming from, if it's even genuine. So that was a good move for us. And we still order from, we still have a good relationship and do business with MTB to this day.
You sponsor a number of shows. Is that part of your sort of wider strategy, is to sort of always be in touch with what's going on within the community of Muay Thai and combat sports in general?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in any business you're doing, networking's going to be a part of it. You are going to have to speak to people within your industry. You are going to have to try and build relationships. You are going to have to do all that sort of stuff. And first thing to say, I mean, we're fans ourselves. We love the fights ourselves. We love the shows. So to be able to be involved with those on a broader aspect as well as Fight Supplies and Hydra, that was always part of our plan to kind of build our brand recognition, and it does help being involved with established shows and fighters in doing that, particularly early on.
Yeah, I think especially early on, and I'd like to give some recognition to Andy Newell and Team JD at Hartford, because the first 2 fighters we sponsored were Jamie Rayner and Michael Clark out of Hartford, because we both, Dan still trains with Andy, I used to train there, but when we first launched Fight Supplies, our first customer was from Hartford, because we were completely unknown. No one knew who Fight Supplies were, no one really knew who we were, so it was very important for us to establish that identity, and having Andy and Hartford vouch for us really early on, and being able to sponsor Jamie and Mike, who were both actively fighting at the time, and having them make posts on social media and Instagram and Facebook saying, use Fight Supplies for your equipment. It did us a world of good, and it helped us establish our identity and establish a trustworthy brand, because we had these gyms and these fighters vouching for us. So I think even to this day, even though we are sponsoring other fighters and other shows, going back to our roots, like that was important for us, because without those guys and those names and those gyms, we would have been completely unknown, and it would have taken a lot longer to kind of get off our feet, because we would have had no one vouching for us. We'd have had no customers, so we'd had no one to leave us good reviews or vouch for us. So yeah, that got the ball rolling, and I still think it's integral to our business to this day, because Muay Thai is a community, and I think some of the other retailers, that is another area where they've kind of failed, because they haven't been as involved with the community.
I was going to say, pretty much the things you mentioned there all go hand in hand together.
Yeah.
There have to be somebody. We do get a lot of messages, like particularly through like Instagram and stuff like that, of kind of younger guys without much of a following messaging asking for sponsorship. From as much as we'd like to be able to just sponsor everybody that asks, just help them kind of push on to that next level. From a business side, there has to be something that's offered our way as well.
Yeah,
so yeah, like you say, things like social media engagement, social media following. Are they likable? What sort of content are they putting out? How's that going to benefit us? Because it's a two-way trade-off. If we're going to sponsor somebody, it needs to be beneficial for us as well. But yeah, I'd say that's probably those are probably the main things. Then being a likable person, good on social media, someone we can get on with.
Yeah.
All those things are pretty integral, really.
Yeah, I think it is very important to highlight that they need to be able to provide value back to us.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound so much as a business transaction, because to us there is more to it than that. I said we've got loyalty with the original guys that we sponsored, and we always will, because they helped us get on our feet, and we hope that we can always look after them. But I think objectively, for other fighters or people looking for sponsorships, because like Dan said, we get between 5 to 10 people ask for sponsorship probably a week, by email, by Instagram, by WhatsApp, and like I said, not only are we not looking to sponsor any more gyms or fighters or organisations at this moment, but some of the people contacting us, we'll check them out, and they'll have 2 social media posts with 50 followers, and as a business, that's not an asset. It would not provide any value to a business, and it has to be. Unfortunately, this is it's business, and businesses have to make profit, so there has to be some value. I'd love to be able to provide equipment or sponsorship money from the goodness of my own heart, but these are business decisions, and every person that we've sponsored, we discussed between ourselves to determine whether they are a good fit. As Dan said, whether they're a likable person, are they a recognisable name, are they doing well, are they going to do better, but probably most importantly of all, are they do they have the potential to become a social media influencer, or will they add value? Will them making regular posts wearing our equipment or tagging us add value to our business, and is that value worth the equipment that we're going to provide for them? So I think for fighters looking for sponsorship from other companies, it's absolutely integral that you're active on social media, that you're making an effort to grow your following, to be active, and so that potential businesses that might offer you a sponsorship can see what you have to offer and think, oh, this is a fair trade. We're going to provide you with a sponsorship, and you're going to provide us with opportunities to grow our business. Then yeah, I think that's important for everyone considering it.
Yeah, I mean, customer service has always been like the primary focus for us, because that's where we kind of felt like the other retailers weren't performing. People being able to contact us on WhatsApp really easily and get a message back from one of us, within a sensible time period. Things do occasionally go wrong. Us being able to rectify those sorts of things quickly, providing that good customer service it's always been like number one priority for us, because that's what builds repeat business. If you order from a company, you don't get a good service, you don't do it again. It's the same as if you go out for dinner somewhere, you go out for a meal and you get bad service or a bad meal, you don't go back again. So that's always been our primary focus, really.
Yeah, and I think we still remind ourselves of it to this day because we don't want to lose focus. That customers first, and I know it's kind of cliche. Every business says that, but we truly do. You know, we'll do things that will improve the customer experience all the time. And if there's changes that we might consider to make life easier for us or to save us money, but it comes at the expense of delivering a worse experience, then we'll sack it off and remind ourselves this is what sets us apart. Because if we can't deliver that same service that we've been delivering, there's nothing that sets us apart from our competitors. There's nothing. You know, we'll offer the same stock at the same prices. That is what sets us apart. That we can deliver that service, that people can order and receive their equipment the next day or within 2 to 3 working days, depending on the service they use. But that's always been integral to our business, and it'll always have to be, because those expectations are higher. We do have to go above and beyond to deliver an impeccable service. Yeah. So I think that's absolutely integral.
And we try to be really transparent on our website about the service we provide and what the customer can expect as well. You know, we say if you order before 2 p.m. Monday to Friday, you'll get this with DPD. You've got the option of getting your parcel next working day. You know, that's something we can deliver on. That's the other thing really that goes hand in hand with the customer service, is just doing what you say you're going to do. If we say the stock's live on the website and everything we have is in stock, it's in stock.
That's the other thing that we learnt actually along the way and made sure to improve on is there's nothing worse than ordering something only to be told the next day or later that day it's not actually in stock. It's frustrating. Like, we've all been there. So we kind of made a few changes to our workflow where we scan all of our products to make sure that our stock is adjusted in real time, updates on the website in real time. So that's another thing that we're doing just to deliver that service to customers so that they can be confident that when they're placing that order, they're not going to receive that email telling them it's not available.